Yeah.
How really?
Yeah, I gotta flex on them.
And
Yes.
Can you say name your outfit for me, please?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm Annabel Iwegbue, and I'm with Blackfilm.com.
Make sure you sit back from your
Oh,
desk.
sorry.
Anytime you're ready.
Okay, great. Well, be honest. How many Jane the Virgin Mary comparisons have you heard?
All of them.
Yeah.
All of them. I think there's only one, which is the Jane the Virgin.
Yeah, that's all you have to
Virgin Mary
say.
comparison. Yeah. But typecasting is happening, and you know what? I don't have a problem with it.
It's alive
I'm
and
okay
well.
with that. Yeah.
What was it like taking on a character that's so well known? Was it intimidating? Or?
You know what's really interesting is like as well known as Mary is, like, what do you know about her?
It's true.
Right?
Well,
Right?
make you think.
It's like, it really is. It's like, I thought about that because everybody has asked me how intimidating it is. And the truth is I'm thinking, like, it is intimidating to play a biographical character. Like, it is playing Abraham Lincoln, if you're playing, like, Mother Teresa. Like, that is just terrifying. You obviously, like, actually, especially with people that we know, we have a grasp on who they are, then you're constantly comparing. But for the Virgin Mary, I don't feel like I ever, no, because I don't ever talk about her. Why doesn't the Virgin Mary get any love?
Yeah.
She's the one that threw down.
She's the girl.
She's the woman.
You know?
So that's what I love about the Star, is that they show her as this pillar of strength, and this woman that is like steadfast and is going to go after what she wants and has a mission and has a service, and she's going to do it. And I think that that's pretty kick-ass. At the same time, I feel like it's every woman that's around me. Like my mom, my grandmother, my siblings. Like, those women are incredible. They're super women. I see them with their kids and I'm like, I hope one day I could be like that. So that's who Mary is. Yeah. Mary's my sister Rebecca. And like, for all those that have met Rebecca, she is. That woman is a saint.
So that's how you just made the character
your own. Yeah, I just
Okay.
made her my own because I'm like, I know these women.
Yeah.
I know my Marys. You know, we're all Mary.
In our own way.
But we kind of are, right? If we're made in the image.
See, so you haven't done much voice acting before. I have, but everything's kind of like rolling out now.
No,
okay.
Animation takes forever.
So
I started this forever ago.
Yeah, when you did start, like, what about it surprised you the most in regard, like, versus acting on screen?
Oh my goodness, how like conscientious you have to be of your emotions, of everything. Like, you can't like tap anything, or like heavy breathing, the work with the microphone entirely, the popping of the P's. You have to be so much more crafted, and your imagination to like the 100th degree.
Yeah,
because you're by yourself. There is nothing. It's just you and your mind, and like you and your imagination. Yeah. So it is a challenge, a really dope challenge.
And last question, what are you most looking forward to this holiday season?
I get to direct my first episode of Jane the Virgin right after the holidays. So I'm going to be preparing the entire holidays to just be a badass female director.
That's so awesome. It was so great talking to you.
Oh, lovely to meet you.
Okay, first question I have for you. What about this project? When you first got the script, what stood out and made you think, like, I have to get involved? What?
Well, working is always a good motivator, so you can pay the bills. But no, I mean, I got a call, said, hey, you got an offer to play Joseph in this Sony animated movie called The Star. And I read just the log line of it, and I was like, oh, like the Star, like the Nativity. And then I read the script, and I thought it was just so good. It was so clever. It had so much heart. And it was a brilliant way to retell a story that we all know to death. I mean, we've heard it, we've seen it, it's been done. And it's a very important story. So how do you do that justice while reskinning it, and that it's done through the perspective of the animals? I think it's just so clever. And it really does kind of break down some barriers for younger, child audiences to understand and digest what this story is in a very entertaining and new way. And also, entertain the parents along with them and all the adults. And I love the idea, as a person of faith, I love that I got to bring Joseph to life. I know as much about Joseph as anybody else does, which is very little. But it also gave me a lot of leeway to kind of create the character. And being a part of a holiday movie, like, that could theoretically play every Christmas, and like, that's fun. And all my friends' kids will be like, oh, that's Zach, that's Uncle Zach. It's like, yeah, that's me, So it was just gangbusters all the way around.
Was it intimidating to play? How do you prepare playing Joseph?
Lots of prayer. No, I don't know. you know, it was a great script, and I just tried to do justice to the script and the authenticity of the character. You just, as an actor, you're just always trying to be honest, you know, with whatever the character is you're bringing to life. And for Joseph, I mean, it's just got to be the craziest. Like, I can't even imagine what that's got to be like. You know, no one else, as far as I know, in the history of mankind has ever had their significant other come up to them, a wife come up to them and say, yes, so I have a baby that's not yours, but it's also not another dude's, it's God's. It's like,
not a familiar situation.
Yeah.
So.
Tale as old as time. So that's super weird, and whatever that must have been like for him. And, you know, and I love that we had the levity of the movie to kind of, because otherwise you can go real dark, real heavy with it, and instead, you know, he's gobsmacked, but he's still trusting because he loves Mary, and then just the journey and the struggle of the journey getting to where they ultimately are in the manger, and the struggle of his own faith, like, and crying out to God and saying, what is this? Because that's what I think, you know, it's all of our lives, every day, when we're in the good and in the bad, we're like, what is going on? What is this? And it's all about, faith is ultimately all about trust. And so I just tried to make that as honest as I could.
Absolutely. And last question, I have to ask you about Shazam.
Yeah.
What
I
can you
have to ask you about
I don't
Shazam.
know. So what can you tell us? Is there anything? How excited are you?
Oh man, I'm just beyond excited. Like, I can't even, I keep having moments, and it hasn't all sunk in. I actually hope it never does. I don't ever want it to all sink in. I want it to always be something that every time I think about it, just talking about it with you right now, it's a little overwhelming. It's very humbling. There are only so many of these roles that come around, and I've worked hard in my career, I think, but I also know there's a lot of other people who have worked even harder or even longer or even more talented or bigger names, and that I got this as such an insane gift, and I want to do right by it and the production and by DC and the fans, and I just want to go have fun with it. And I think it's such an awesome character. It's like the movie Big, but with superpowers, you know? And getting to play Billy, like, as an adult, but like the Billy inside of me, and like, oh, it's so fun.
So much. Oh
I can't even. I'm so excited.
Thank you so much
My
for
pleasure.
talking to me today. So first, I wanted to ask you, how did you get involved in this project?
Well, fortunately, my representation brought me this offer to do the part of Edith the cow. And when I saw the amazing cast that was involved, I was so excited. And also just to be a part of a faith-based movie at Christmas time, particularly the Nativity story. That's never been told as a Christmas movie. And the story's been around for 2,000 years. I think it's about time to do it, so I was happy to be a part of it.
And do you do a lot of animation?
No, I haven't done a lot of animation, so I was really excited to do this, and I'd love to do more.
Yeah, and what was your favorite part about playing a voiceover versus playing a character on screen?
Yeah, I don't have to do any of this. I can just roll in my pajamas. But it's a different kind of skill set, and as an actor, hopefully you're always learning, and you're always trying to improve your craft and enlarge your sort of skill set. So I love working with only your voice, and I think you have to push it a little more than you would normally when you're just on camera, as yourself. So it's a really interesting sort of trust exercise with your director and with the animator and with the actor.
Yeah, and like you said, you play Edith in the nativity scene.
Mm-hmm.
And was there any room for you to play around with that character, because she's so fun?
Yes, and you do play around with your voices a little bit. I think at the beginning, Edith sounded a little more like me, and then I do have I can go into a sort of a Midwestern twang, and we found that to be a lot of fun, actually, so we kind of went in that direction a little bit.
Yeah. And what are some of your favorite Christmas movies that you remember from growing up?
Well, I love Elf. I watched that, and I just recently watched Planes, Trains, and Automobiles with John Candy and Steve Martin, and it really holds up well. And of course, It's a Wonderful Life is just a terrific movie. It's a classic. So I'm hoping that The Star also becomes a classic.
And what are you most looking forward to this holiday season?
I work very long hours on the middle, and so we get a nice 3-week break over the Christmas holidays, so I'm very much looking forward to having all my boys come home, my 4 sons, and doing some skiing with them.
Great. It was so nice talking
Thank
to you
you. Nice to
today.
meet
Thank
you.
you.
All right. Take care.